On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. No, I can't wait. On the road again.
Alright, let's try this again. It is Wednesday.
Going places I have never.
It's Wednesday, 20-something. 20th, maybe, I don't know. So we've got the camera mounted up in the car again. Every time I think I have it where I want it, it's not. It's someplace different. And I got tired of having to flip the video upside down in every clip. So, this is what you got, and I hope you like the angle. Last show was a little bit too close up on my face. I think you could see my pores opening and closing and everything else. It was horrible. But with this shot, it shouldn't be too bad. So we did the Eddie and Gabe show last night. Well, they did the show. I ran the chat room. And it was pretty good. I think overall the chat room stuff went pretty well. It's a shame that it actually doesn't get used on our show, that it gets used on their show. Seems like that's always the way. Their show gets the 877 number usage, mostly because Tomnick calls and doesn't get off the phone. And they got the chat room. But now that people know that it's there and know how to use it, maybe they'll tune in. As I was telling someone else later last night after the show, our show really doesn't aim towards the live audience too much, but we do want to make sure that stuff is there for them when they want to use it. For the most part, we concentrate on podcasts, YouTube, and now this segment. So, if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, you're watching a channel called PTR Radio. You might want to try going to ptrradio.com and see what else this very funny man in front of the camera has put out. Have a pretty nice radio show every other week. With that said, one thing I want to talk about this morning is what happened to me. Well, I've been having trouble sleeping the last couple nights. I haven't been able to get to bed before 1, and most people would say, well, that's not a bad thing. But I wake up at 6:30, and I'm 35. Which means, as I said before, I'm getting older, and I can't do this shit anymore. But I'm not tired, either. At least not, in the evening when I should be going to bed. So it creates a real problem, because it takes me another hour to get to sleep, so maybe I get 5 hours of sleep a night. Which would be okay, like I said, if I was about 23. Used to be able to do that shit all the time, but now I just can't. I don't know what it is. When you get older, you can't do the stuff that you picked up habits doing when you were younger. It's a cruel joke. Anyway. Let's see here. What else? Yeah, the camera fell down like 4 times trying to record previous episodes. And while it's funny the first time when the camera falls in the car, it is not funny the 5th or 6th time when the camera falls in the car, and I worry, did I just break my camera? Because I'm going to tell you right now, camera breaks, show over. I do not have unlimited funds to replace camera equipment whenever I feel like it. Otherwise, I'd be replacing a lot of shit. So. I do like how on the last show, Mike was a little bit upset that this segment got more comments than the radio show. It's great. Keep it up. Let us know what you want to talk about. I haven't gotten any suggestions for comments yet. So I'm just in here talking to hear myself talk a lot of times. But today's just another day to work. Nothing really exciting. Nothing really in the news to talk about. Other than the one thing is that evidently Illinois has now been replaced by Alaska. Somehow within the next 2 days we're supposed to get like 6 to 8 inches of snow. The temperature's already dropped to 3 trillion below zero. And it sucks. Not to mention that the wind speeds picked up. Well, today it's not too bad, but yesterday it was like 45 miles an hour. It was ridiculous. I felt like I could have flown to work if I had just had like a parachute or, you know, something like that. I don't know, glider. Of course, that would require a hill. There aren't any here. I don't know. I don't mind winter, but I don't like the frigid winter. I don't like when it's so cold that parts of your anatomy shrivel up inside to stay warm. You know, but I hate summer. I cannot stand summer. Summer's horrible. Because summer is hot and muggy and sweaty and disgusting, and it's not fat friendly. It's really not. The summer is meant for skinny people who can take most of their clothes off outdoors. I hide the rest of the public. I save the rest of the public by not doing that. So, if that's wrong, oh well, but you're never going to see me without a shirt on, especially on camera. Just not going to happen. Oh, I'm sure everybody's like me. They hate it when they hit the lights. You wish you could hit them all green, but there's no way. There was a movie at one time, and it starred the Bushwhackers, and they picked up this genius girl hitchhiker, and she had made this device that you just point at the lights, and whoop, they change. Or you point it at any electronic equipment, and it just magically does shit. It was a horrible movie, but don't get me wrong. It starred the Bushwhackers. How could it possibly be a good movie? The only people that think that was a good movie was the same people that think that No Holds Barred, the show, the movie, should have been nominated for a Oscar for Hulk Hogan's acting ability, or that think that Suburban Commando or whatever in the hell he was in was great. So far, the only thing that I've liked him in has been his porn that his friend Bubba put out. That was hilarious. And he didn't mean to be funny. It was supposed to be a sex tape, but the last 5 minutes of the tape was just him apologizing for poor performance and talking about how bloated he felt. Because he had a big lunch and he had no idea that he was going to have sex with Bubba's wife. How could... That's a friend. Not that I want to have sex with my friends' wives or girlfriends, but that takes a special kind of guy to say, yeah, go up and just have your way, and when you're done, come on, say hi before you leave. That's a special kind of crazy right there. So, anyway, like I said, it's just a boring day to work. Maybe something exciting will happen on the way home, but I doubt it. My leg hurts. That's the only thing that is bothering me right now, is that my leg hurts. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning with a horrible Charlie horse. Felt like the back muscle on my leg was tied into a pretzel. Not fun at all. I hate those. So, anyway, that's my day so far. More as it happens. All right, folks. The work day is over, and now the work night begins. It's got to be amazing watching me back out of a parking spot. Not a whole lot went on today, except for I almost got to the 3rd level with this ball maze thing that we have at the office. I'll have to get a picture of it and put it up there. It's really cool. It's this 3-dimensional labyrinth maze you have to make through with a marble. We found a giant wooden one on eBay or YouTube, and I think they said it was like $12,000. So we just have the little cheap plastic one. Let's see here. This evening, I have... Oh, shit. Like several stops I have to make. So this one probably won't be very long. And then I'll be ordering a pizza for dinner. The question is, do I eat the pizza before I go into the second client's place? Or do I take it in with me? Or whatever, so... I hate eating at a client's location, but when it's going to be 6:30 before I get there, and it'll be 9:30 before I'm done working there, then not a whole lot of time to eat, and I don't want to eat that late. But it is a specialty pizza night over at Antonio's, one of our local pizza places. It's $11.99 for any size, unlimited toppings. Yum. I posted parts B and C of episode 3 today, And I guess that there was a lapse in my editing skills between all the multiple times that I tried to get part B ready. Because you have to understand, I've probably prepped it for rendering 5-6 times now. And so, each time, like, oh, add image stabilization, or kill the trim this, or, don't do that. Well, turns out that the one that I posted had a time when I thought I had turned off the camera, and I hadn't. So there's like an extra 2 minutes worth of time where you just see me driving quietly. There's nothing going on. And I didn't mean to leave it in there, but I got a comment asking me if that was on purpose for humorous reasons, because when I noticed that the camera was still rolling, it looked hilarious, evidently, or if it was just a screw-up. And the answer is it was just a screw-up. I try not to make myself look like an idiot when possible. All too many times I look like an idiot anyway, and sometimes in trying not to look like an idiot, I look like a worse idiot. I'm sure everybody can agree that that's happened to them sometime or another. So, it is what it is. None of these are going to be great. People loved the camera falling on the first one. There's no accounting for taste. But I do want to say that if you guys could like, share, comment, etc., it'll really keep this thing going. Because the little bit of feedback so far has been great. Alright, so let me talk a little bit of geek today, because that was what my day was, mostly at work. And let me say how much I do not like SharePoint. For those of you that don't know, SharePoint is a content management system made by Microsoft. And normally I like Microsoft stuff, but SharePoint is horrible. It's a piece of garbage. And sorry to say that, but they really dropped the ball on public-facing websites and using SharePoint with it. In fact, they actually tell you not to, but the silly place I work at, just because Microsoft says that it's not really meant for that, we're going to do it anyway. And so, regardless, I had to, we've got this thing, a list, think of it like a table in a database in SharePoint, and I needed to update it, and I needed to update it from a SQL table. So, I had to do it in Access. So, you've got this bastardized content management system, a good quality, properly done database, and then the tool you have to try and make the piece of crap and the good thing work together is a steaming pile of excrement. Access is horrible. Anybody that thinks that Access is great is mental. There is no way that it was ever meant to do anything real. If all you want to do is keep track of your DVDs at home for yourself, maybe Access is okay, but not for anything worthwhile. And this table had 2,800 records in it, so not easy. And by the way, this is a different way home, because I've got to stop off at one place on the way there, and so, but there's a lot more people on this road. A lot more people. This is 5th Street. It's one of the main ones in and out of the town, and so I'm pulling up at 5-lane wide stop signs now, with the camera pointed at me, a little red light flashing, talking to myself in the car, praying to God that the people that are next to me think that I have someone on the telephone on Bluetooth. I really ought to come up with that sound effect just so that I can have it for when I have to stop at a light. And it's only going to get worse in the summer because this car doesn't have air conditioning. So then it'll be windows down, me talking to myself. I'll look like a homeless person who has a vehicle. That's essentially what it's going to come down to if this continues on to that long. Is I will look like a raving lunatic, all for your amusement, so you better like it. So yeah, I had to use a piece of crap to try and turn a turd into a diamond. It still didn't work by the end of the day, and I spent all day trying. I don't know what people think sometimes. Which is why we use the system we use on our radio show webpage. Which, by the way, I've decided I'm going to update it here within the next couple months. give it a fresh new look, because we've been running that one for about 6 months now, and it's time. It's just time. I like changing it up. I really like keeping you guys involved, and hopefully that you visit the site. I got to find a way to try and get the videos on the front page of the site too, so that you guys can watch them there. But I haven't figured that one quite out yet. I may have to use a different thing. So, I don't know. We'll find out. It'll either work or it won't. But there was also a comment about seatbelts. And you may have noticed that a couple times I wasn't wearing them when I was recording. Well, the reason why is because I'm a professional stunt driver on a closed course. And much like they remove safety equipment for photography purposes and all those woodworking shows, that's what I was doing when I wasn't wearing the seatbelt. We were in a closed track. I was getting ready to do some really heavy handbrake turns and going off of ramps and stuff like that, so I didn't have to wear my seatbelt. You should always wear your seatbelt. And so I just wanted to explain that. Trained professional, closed course. Kids, do not try this at home. If you're kids, what are you doing? Driving, first of all, and second of all, it's just a bad idea. So, anyway, I am almost to my first stop for the evening, so that's going to wrap it up for this little bit, and we will touch base later.